Maybe it's just me, but is this starting to feel like the longest January that we've had for a while? Well, anyway, today is about this privet tree and overcoming an issue which a lot of beginners struggle to do. And essentially, it is doing the hard thing and starting the tree from scratch again. But first, what we need to do is remove all these wires. And you can see this tree getting started in a previous video. And there is a fair bit of wire to do. We've got guy wires to come off. We've got even screws into the main wood that needs to be unscrewed. There's a fair bit of work to do today. And it looks like the wire has done its job over the last growing season and all the branches have set, which should help in a lot of our decision making that's about to happen. So as we're having a quick spin around, I have decided to take the mesh off the top of the soil. And don't worry, that will be going back down eventually. But we just need to see what we're working with. And it was entirely covered with moss underneath, but for some reason all this has died off, and we've got to get these screws out also. So another quick spin around, and I've come to the decision that a partial, maybe full defoliation will be needed to see where we're working, and this trunk here is definitely going to have to be reduced or removed entirely, but we'll get to that eventually. So here we are beginning the defoliation process, and we're just going to do the bottom at the moment. Some needs to be snipped off, a lot of it's just coming away easily. And also while we're doing this, we are reducing the branches to lower internodes just to help build a ramification. And right here we've got 3 branches coming off and one of them needs to be removed. I have selected the one in the middle and it just opens up a little bit more and looking a lot less awkward. And here I've decided that we're going to reduce this trunk here down to where the scissors are, and we're just going to leave a little gouge there just so I know where I'm going to be cutting, and we're just going to remove all this top foliage just to get a clearer image of what the rest of the tree is going to look like. And these scissors are sharp. It's nice to finally put these scissors to the real test, and they're doing the job just absolutely beautifully. And it's best to remember that you always want your branches to split off into 2s, never 3s, as it can become unsightly very quickly. Now it's time to remove that trunk. The wood is wet and the saw is blunt. I definitely do need a new one, but we're going to persist with it anyway. And now it gives us a clearer image on what the tree can look like. And I think that is looking a lot tidier and nicer already. And here we're going to do some carving. I'm just mapping it out in my head where to go. A lot of people like to draw, but that never suits me. We're going to use a plastic bin bag just to cover the soil to help protect it from the debris from the carvings. And it doesn't have to be a bin bag, it can be a sheet of your choosing, just something to help cover it up. So I'm going to be using a mini T nibbler, with just a normal Dremel. It's going to go through the wood like butter, and here we are getting started. Now I'm not going to talk much through this, I'm just going to let you enjoy the work. So I'm just getting the useless brush out just to help clean up the debris, just to try and make it easier where to go next. We are removing the bag. Most of the carving is done, so I haven't got to really worry about the debris that much. But the useless brush is working really well to remove the sawdust. And it's making it clear that I want to go further down on the trunk line. So just a little bit more to go. So that's the carving done for today. It will need further work in future, but we're just going to have a bit of a clean up now before the next step. And what it is, we're going to be using a little blowtorch, and what this will do will clean any of the little bits that are still attached, and it will also darken the wood to help give a more natural effect once we've applied the next step. And there we go, that is starting to come together really well, and the wood is still smoking a bit. So the next step is applying dead wood preserve. It's not lime sulphur, if anything it smells a lot nicer, and where this won't bleach the wood white, that would actually keep its natural colour, and it works wonders as a wood hardener / sealant. I have used this for other trees such as privets, and it's worked absolutely wonderful, and in time the wood will darken with further work. So the tree is definitely starting to come together now. And as we're having a spin around, what we need to do is get the wire on. But as I'm looking at it, I can see a lot of this growth is far too long, and we don't want to be building ramification at the end of the branches. We want to be building it further down, so I'm cutting it back down to lower internodes or where growth is growing, and it should help it in the long run. So I've decided to go ahead to do a full defoliation. As I was cutting back, it was obscuring my vision for the tree, kind of making it look uneven. So yeah, we're going to go for the full defoliation. And as I'm cutting back, it's making me remember the other privet tree you've seen me work on recently, and on how that tree got started, and now it's looking absolutely amazing. So I've got high hopes. So now we've got to get our wires on, and we're going to be using 2 and 3mm wire and my trusty wire cutters, and we're just going to put wire on everything and see what works. And I know I said earlier that I'm going to be doing the full defoliation. Don't worry, that's all coming off too. And knowing me, I've found another branch I don't like. It's just too congested up here, so we're just going to get rid of it. And that's looking a lot better. And there we are with the rest of the foliage removed. Let's proceed. And you've probably heard me say this many times now, but when bending the branches, it's best to be bending the wire and to try and give natural movement as if the tree branches are growing against the elements. And finally, to the top of the tree. I'm feeling like these are far too long, so we're just going to cut them back to internodes at the lower end and try and build some ramification. And the other side is going to be the new apex, and we're just going to let that grow for this season to ironically in future cut back again. But we don't need that little bit there. as we're starting to come to the end, we're just going to reapply some fresh moss, and it will be covered in mesh, but that will be after the video. And here we are, finished for today, and I am more than happy with what we have achieved. All the foundations are set, and it's going to have an amazing growing season this year. I can't wait to update, and if you enjoyed this video, please comment, like and subscribe. If not, no worries, and I'll catch you in the next one.